Hey.
Hello. Hey.
Welcome to the Renault Carpool interview series. My name is Alexander Mauvet. I'm here on behalf of Stockholm International Film Festival. And today's guest is Mikko Myllylahti.
Yes,
Lahti,
yes,
okay.
that's very good.
I was afraid of the pronunciation, so I wanted you to fill in the gap there. Have you had the chance to watch something in Stockholm or do something?
No, I just took a little some sightseeing, looking at the city center. I actually haven't been to Stockholm that many times. I mean, as Finns, we come here with the ferry, but sometimes you don't even get out of the ferry. So.
Where are you from in Finland?
I am from Lapland, from northern Finland. So I grew up in Tornio, and that's by the Swedish border.
Yeah.
So there's Tornio, Haparanda.
Okay, Haparanda.
Yeah. So I've been to Sweden many hundred times.
Yeah.
Because
so you're very close to,
yes,
to Sweden in all senses.
Yes.
Cool. And I'm happy I've seen that your movie is doing very well at the festival. It's sold out to 3 screenings, and so.
Yes. Yeah, I was really happy to hear that. I mean, obviously it's a nice thing that people come to see the film. And my film is it's a very strange film. It's an art house film, but I guess maybe here in Sweden maybe because there is a lot of very bizarre Finnish humor.
Yeah.
So I think you are more familiar.
We're more
to that.
We understand it. Here
yes,
in Sweden,
I think so too.
But maybe outside of the Nordic countries, maybe they.
Yes, it can be. It can be. I mean, there. I think. It's at least it's more exotic.
Okay.
It has been in quite many festivals, and yes, I'm very happy because it's my first film as a director.
As a director, yeah.
So actually, it's because I think now my film is. I think it's the only film from Finland here. In this festival.
Strangely enough, we're neighbors, grannar, but no.
Yeah, but we are really happy about that because it was not so. It was a risky film to make because it's a strange film.
It's very niched.
Yes, in a way and also I'm doing all these things. I'm combining this poetic cinema with this dark comedy. So for some people it can be really mind-baffling.
This is your directorial debut, but you've been a screenwriter for a film that has won at Cannes, Un certain regard, 2016.
Yes.
And it's always with a person that sees on life there's always a positive vibe to those characters.
Yeah, it's true. There are similarities. I mean, I was the screenwriter of this film called The Happiest Day in the Life of Olli Mäki. That was 2016, so 6 years ago. It's directed by Juho Kuosmanen. He's my friend, and but there are similarities. It's I am very interested in this very positive approach towards life. I don't know why. I have been like that myself always, and I guess I just grew up like that. But and also this in Finland, I think what is also there's some similarities about how we portray a male character in a way, because both of these films there's a male protagonist, but they are not working they're not like what we usually think of the stereotypes of Finnish men especially. They're more soft.
Not those rough, but more soft and more in connection with their emotions.
Exactly, and because it's a strange thing. As Finns sometimes we have a problem with. I don't know if it's the problem, but we have a different way of expressing our emotions. I guess we are very laconic, and sometimes we keep it to ourselves. But I'm interested in this finding these ways where these male characters can find some alternative ways of expressing themselves, like the boxer in the previous film, and also this the woodcutter in my film, and they are played by the same actor, so that's also a similarity.
Yeah. You said you are also very positive, so you take from your life a lot of inspiration to those characters, or are you? Yes. You're very positive or very dark?
I am very positive. I am very optimistic. I don't know why, but I have had this attitude always. But and yes, I definitely when I'm writing, I think it's very common for the writers that we are dealing with our own personalities, and even though you are, of course, when you're writing different characters, you have to make them alive and make them complex. But I think there's a lot of personality, and because my film, this woodcutter story is not, it's not it doesn't have this psychological realism.
Okay.
So it is more like a magical realism, and also the people's behavior is not realistic.
Okay.
And I was very into that, and actually there is like I don't know, some people have, maybe they can see something similar, but I mean I think he's way much better filmmaker than I am. But Roy Andersson from Sweden, and so because I like his way of dealing with this, especially with the emotions and the lack of psychological realism. But that is also in Robert Bresson films, the French director, and we were watching also Takeshi Kitano's films from Japan.
Okay.
And of course there is Kaurismäki, the Finnish director. But there is this way of making films and portraying humanity without the use of psychological realism, and that is something that really inspired me. And also because my background is that I'm a poet.
All right.
So I started out as writing poetry, and I guess that has something to do with the style of my film.
A little more abstract. You don't give certain answers.
Yes, exactly. It's like I think the poetry is something that is very ambiguous, and it has to be, because if it wouldn't be, then it wouldn't be poetry anymore.
Yeah,
it would be just you can just have a statement and say it.
Yeah, it has to like make you tickle your mind, make you question things, maybe, so that you can work. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think my film is also something that I think I want to address this question. I want to go like towards something that I'm actually not even aware of myself, and that is quite. But I mean, it makes a bit of a difficult film at sometimes, and some people are like, what does this mean? What is this? What is the purpose of this, and why is it there? And is this a symbol of something?
Yeah.
But it's a metaphorical thinking what I'm after, and
it gets complicated in the movies.
Yes, it gets. But on the other hand, it plays out as this like a comedy.
Yeah.
So because it's cinema after all. So I think in cinema you cannot go too far.
Well, Finland is famous for being the happiest country in the world.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting thing, because I mean I know that there are these surveys that say that we are the happiest. I think it's I mean, but it is very similar than like Sweden or the Nordic countries, that we have a very good. I mean, we still have, like you have here, we have a good system in that sense that we take care of all the people. It's
you can feel safe here.
Yeah, the social democratic I think welfare state. And I think it comes a lot from that. And I mean, living in Finland, it is safe, and there's not that many people, so there's room for everybody. But at the same time, I feel that we are very depressed. So it's kind of strange that we are the happiest country. And if you go to some, like, I don't know, I really like to go to Italy. I mean, that's just an example, but I mean, maybe like I get this vibe in Italy that people are more happy than in Finland. But I guess it's about the structures in society which ultimately make people more happy. So maybe I think we are content in Finland rather than happy. But that's always I haven't really understood where does it come from that we are the happiest country.
Maybe
why?
Maybe it's because of harsh temperatures, the struggle, and then from the struggles you get more satisfaction in life. I don't know, but they seem happy in Italy, so.
yes, exactly. But I mean, and there are these, like, there are a lot of films and stories, books in Finland, in Finnish art that are very. They can be very depressive. They are very harsh and like rude stories, and we have this history of making this kind of. But I mean, we also have a history of a lot of humor. So I guess that's the combination usually, like the humor is not so direct. It's black
humor
and laconic.
What would be the best advice you would give someone to, be happy? Is it this laconic humor, or just to?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, of course, it's like because I mean in my film, like, because when I was writing it for a quite long time, and I was thinking of this, and I was talking with the main actor Lahti, he's a fantastic actor, and he was really deep into the script, and he said that he doesn't want to make this, so he doesn't want for people to think that the main character, because he's very optimistic and there's like horrible things happening to him, and still he maintains his facade in a way. So he stays very optimistic, he stays happy, even though he's basically losing everything. So where does this come from? And Jarkko said that he doesn't want to make him stupid, because I mean, of course, you could think that he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't understand what's happening to him. But I don't think so. I didn't think so when I was writing, and actually when I was talking with Jarkko, how he could see it very profoundly in the text and how he could portray it in his way of acting, that was very, very, very important for the film. So I guess that's also something that because I think it has something to do with the ego, because I mean if we are all like dealing a lot with our own egos, and I think my main character in the film, how Jarkko plays him, he doesn't have a big ego, and so it gives him this possibility to accept even those horrible things, and I think that's something, there's a wisdom in it, and especially how he plays it in the film. So it's not my writing, but it's more like his acting, I would say so. And he's not aware, because there is, I don't know how is it like in Sweden, but in Finland, because I am like the first, like almost the first generation of people who actively go to therapy.
Okay. Yes.
So
yes,
because like my parents' generation,
it's the same,
they didn't do therapy.
Here
So when they had something,
it's taboo. You can't even tell them.
Yeah, if you suggest like your mother that you should go to therapy, they usually get really pissed off. Like I'm not crazy.
You should maybe get your shit together and
yes, exactly.
Just
have
be strong.
to be strong and don't cry about it. And so, but so what they had to do is like, I think it's a sad thing, because I mean, they
sad
had
for
to,
them.
Yes,
also,
because they had to like deal with everything with themselves, and they didn't have a chance to kind of understand their. So, I mean, this is generalization. It doesn't apply to everybody, but how their emotions work, and why do they feel this way, and why this happened now, and how should I cope it, and so but in a way they had people who are like pre-therapy, they have more resilience, and I think my main character in the film also, you could argue that he is pre-therapy. So that he's not just aware, and there is a breaking point. There is this crazy preacher, this psychic singer, and he's trying to break him in this one scene, and he's trying to tell him things that will ultimately break him and take away his son. So it's like a nightmarish thing that happens in the film in a way, surrealistic, like a bad dream. But so I think there is a breaking point. Maybe he starts to be aware. But this is in a way it's like an allegory what happened to us. Because when we were living this more simple life, not going to therapy, I don't know why we're more happy. Because I mean, if you interview those people, they certainly don't feel happier. But maybe there is something.
That's a question. Yeah, is it better to have blissful ignorance, or?
And maybe also dwelling everything and going. I mean, I personally think therapy is a good thing for most of the people, but there is something that we can also lose by. And I think like us living in Finland and our culture is so thin. It's not so long time ago that we all these civilized layers we are having, they are just very new. So we didn't have them. Like the Finnish literature was born like more than 100 years ago, and we have been part of we were part of Sweden, and we were part of Russia, and there was this our own language, our own ways, and then we are a new nation still.
You're all still discovering the nation.
Yes, but still it's a interesting thing, because it's not like long time ago that we didn't have this civilization as we now have. But now we are one of the most progressed countries in the world. So the leap has been huge.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something that I'm interested in And because I grew up in Lapland and I'm familiar with these more rural areas and this how people are there and how life is there, even though I don't live there anymore. So I guess that's also was one of the things I wanted to make this film.
Are you more like when writing a new movie, or are you more like secretive that you try to do everything by yourself, or are you more like, you know, Ruben Östlund that goes on social media and asks like, how should we, is this part of the story interesting? Like, do you go to people and pitch your new storyline to see how they react, or are you more like for yourself?
I think that's an interesting question, because I mean, like being a writer and writing for film, I mean, even though if you direct it yourself or you write for some other director, it's an interesting thing, because I mean, as a writer, I believe that you have to keep it to yourself for some time, and then there is a moment when you start to open up and you start to like share what you have been doing, because I mean, it's like a bubble, you can burst it if you do it too early. But what is tricky is that when writing and working in the film industry is that you have to give the text, and people are, because you are applying for money, for example, you have to present something like, I have this idea, I have to write like 2 pages, and it's not much, but still, and so there's like this evaluation going on, and actually one of the things with writing this film was very difficult was that I had to kind of find ways to almost like find a method of how to preserve my original ideas. This sounds a bit cocky, but I don't mean it like that. But because the film is crazy, and it's like there's like you have to. There are things that are not. It's not possible to explain everything. It doesn't work like that. It just has to be there, and then when you watch the film, you either. Some people don't get it, and some get it.
So it's so crazy you can't explain it, and you have to stand your ground and keep it, so that you don't get but. That sounds strange, and you take it away.
Maybe in a more conventional film, it is easier, because it's about the communication, and I understand that my film communicates in some like not the easiest ways. That's fair to say, I guess. So that was tricky, because I had to really. But I think my background, because I'm a poet, so I'm used to that. That people, it's not about like if you write poetry and someone says that I don't understand what is this. It doesn't mean that you're not. You're doing something very like that something is going really badly. It's just you just have to accept the ambiguity. But I think that's one reason why. I mean, and I also it was hard work, and it was a hard process in that sense, that because you had to like. Of course, you start to question yourself, like, is this like really what am I doing? Like, does this make any sense?
That's what you're asking yourself a lot.
Yes.
Am I making?
Yeah. But then it is very rewarding if you get this feedback. I have got luckily that people are saying like, I like it that everything was not explained. So then I feel like, okay, that was a good thing. It was a good thing I tried to preserve it and not to make it.
Everyone can make their own opinion. Yeah. Maybe something you're looking forward to this evening or tomorrow before you leave? Something special? At the festival or in Stockholm?
I think like Scandinavian films are doing very well this year, because I was in Chicago, and there was a lot of Scandinavian films, and they were all in Cannes or other like big festivals. So I think it's a very good year for Scandinavian films, and it's a good thing, because I mean we are like, Sweden is also, it's bigger than Finland, but you are still not like a huge country in Europe. But I mean, if we can, and Iceland is doing very well. So I mean, all together we can be a very powerful film industry.